All right, hello Tide fans. Welcome to Tide Talk. I'm your host, Sean Taylor. Got my buddy Jimmy in the studio. Maurice is actually on location in Tuscaloosa at the Dreamland Barbecue. Maurice, how's it going down there?
Dreamland. I'm in Tuscaloosa.
Life is good. Can't go wrong with some barbecue at the Dreamland in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Had to get a little
Okay.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Don't choke on it.
something about evaluation.
Well, I hope you're present in that meeting.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Make sure that you speak on behalf of all of us here at Tide Talk.
I'll be sure to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Well, guys, we're coming off a road win. We've said all year long, we've said for the past 5 years, a road win is a road win. Ole Miss did pretty much kind of what we anticipated. I was a little shocked at some of the decisions that they made during the game, but it's not surprising from Lane Kiffin. I think he truly thought that he had Nick Saban this time. For whatever reason, we pulled it off. Wasn't necessarily pretty, but we pulled it off. Maurice, give us your kind of just initial take on Saturday. What's your thoughts?
I think that
the first half, second half epitomizes our season to a T. The first half is the lackluster effort, confusion, lack of leadership. And then the second half, whatever was said to us at the halftime, or I don't know if somebody stepped up, became that vocal leader, but it was two different roles. I was glad to see it. That's what we're capable of. That's capable of all year. And so, I'll take that. Let's see if they can maintain it throughout the last 2 games.
Yeah, Jimmy?
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw basically what we've seen all year long. Tell the two halves. We keep talking about, playing a complete game, and we still didn't see that. Again, like you said, we won. I mean, no complaints there. I still can't figure out why we start so slow, dig ourselves a big hole. Thankfully, we have the best player in college football playing quarterback for us, because I truly believe if he's not our quarterback, we're looking at 3 or 4, 5 losses this year from some of the holes we've dug ourselves in starting out games. But again, we came back second half, like Mo said, played kind of the Alabama style of football that we thought we would see all year.
Yeah. We've been saying the same things. It's the same song and dance. It appears. It's concerning that Bryce Young has to perform for us to be successful, and he has to perform in some pretty critical situations. I mean, he does some things. Everybody talks about it. They kind of call him the magician. The way he works the pocket, gets out of the pocket with his feet, and still has his eyes downfield and that sort of thing. But it's the same message that we've kind of been sending, all year long. It's lack of production from the wide receiver perspective. Although we got some guys involved, I just think that we ought to see more production from them. I think we ought to see more guys open. Jimmy, we were watching the game together, and there was a particular play where it was third down, and we saw a receiver run the route and sit down
right behind the defender.
Right behind the defender.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about coming up here. There's a lot of receivers, in my opinion, aren't showing any effort. When you go out and just sit while your quarterback's running for his life. Quite honestly, I don't understand why that type of play has to have somebody that's really going to work for it. I think I saw some improvement with the installation of number 19.
Ty Lawson, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. He Saban even mentioned in post-game that we've been waiting for him to play with a hamstring all year, and that's been nagging. Been waiting to get him in, and he looked like a difference.
And listen, you know, I don't know if you guys read what I read today, the article dealing with Harold, the transfer from Louisville, how we need to get him involved. And truly, he's been ready since the Texas A&M game, but he hasn't seen but a little bit of playing time. But because of his speed, because of his ability to go vertical, which, you know, I know I've been screaming about it all year long. You know, even if it's not a completed pass, just to throw that pass and kind of see what happens type thing. But I'd like to just, you know, commend Chase McClellan. He did a really good job. We didn't at the time know that Gibbs had a little injury, maybe a little ankle injury or what have you. But boy, you know, he ran the football hard, performed well in the second half specifically. And of course, I think that helped us in some of the other aspects of our offense.
You know, that running style is what Mo has mentioned several times this year about we didn't have that physical presence at running back. I think it's been there all year. We just hadn't seen it.
Right.
I mean, because he was running physical or physically,
yeah.
Or whatever I'm trying to, you know what I'm trying to say, Tide fans. It's been there. He's been in the backfield. It's not like he just got on the team this past week. He's been there, but because of Gibbs, I guess he don't see as much action. But yeah, that's that physical style of run that we've accustomed to see in the past.
Yeah.
It was very refreshing. What do you think, Mo?
Maurice, did you notice the during the game they showed the sideline after probably a note or 3 and out by us, and Bryce Young's got the offense in the huddle, and he looks to me like the first time I've ever really seen him angry. You know, he appeared to be getting on some guys, and maybe it was just motivational, but then of course Nick Saban chimes in right there with him. We've been calling for that all year. I know you have, Maurice.
I know it's much welcome to see. In fact, I think Bryce was control of that. Saban was, and rightfully so. He is the quarterback. Not to mention, he's a guy running for his life. And that's unfortunately the way it's been. A lot shares his ability. So he has a right to somebody, not only lack of effort, but there's also a couple of times where just blocking side, just whoever was going to make the call, could be the center or tackle, didn't make it. And I'd be highly ill too if I could take a three-step drop, and I got a safety or an outside linebacker.
Right.
Be a little rated well enough. So, foot had to go somewhere. Foot went to those places.
Yeah, it was good to see. You know, we've been asking for somebody to step up and just get in somebody's ear hole, you know, all year and kind of hold people accountable. Maybe that's what took place. You know, I don't know. We did see some better production from the offensive side in the second half. We're going to come back after this break and we're going to talk. I still am really bumfuzzled, I guess, for a lack of better words, with when we're inside the 10-yard line and the fact that we can't get the ball in the end zone. There's still some concerns and some questions there for me. But anyway, it was good to see us kind of regroup, play better in the second half from an offensive perspective. Defense, you know, they've been kind of having to do some things all year. Sometimes that we ask too much from them. But we made enough stops to win the ball game. So we're going to take that as a bonus. We'll take that into this break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about some production on both sides. But Tide fans, hold your seats. We'll be right back with Tide Talk.
I know Beam. I used to watch cartoons and sports on their TV, and now I use their internet.
Take it from Javion Cohen, all SEC team offensive lineman.
Beam. It's the choice of champions.
Like Javion said, it is the internet choice of champions. Beam, bringing East Alabama more.
What is community? Is it a neighborhood? The businesses and homes inside it? Maybe community isn't just a place. maybe it's a state of mind that when we care together, cheer together, we're closer to what really counts. At Beam, we're finding new ways to bring us all closer. And you'll find us right out there with you, because community is always on our mind. Beam, bringing East Alabama more.
All right, welcome back, Tide fans. Maurice, you know, we talked right there just about some production, some things that were positive. Man, what is our problem when I think we were in the red zone, or let me just not even say red zone. We were inside the 10, I know 3 or 4 times, and we're having to settle for field goals. We can't punch the ball in, and we don't do anything any different.
Or if we score, it's
I was just about to say, I think it's lack of creativity,
yeah.
By Jimmy's favorite coordinator.
Yeah.
And, you know, whenever you got especially passing route.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, you got to have it within, especially the 3-yard line, you got to have that back threat. I'm not really love his effort, but he really doesn't fear as far as getting to the between the guards. As far as he's stepping up and filling the hole, it wouldn't bother me. But I think that combination, especially with O'Brien not being creative, play calling, watching with a buddy of mine, he was calling every play.
Me too, yeah.
We can call it from home.
You know, and when we score, you know, we'll score, but it's such a struggle.
Yeah.
We have to work so hard, whether Bryce, you know, creating something. You know, I know our tight end has been really big down there. He's caught, I don't know how many touchdown passes, but it's always, he's never like wide open, it seems like. You know, there's a tight window we're trying to fit a ball in, or he's making a great catch or play over a defender. I mean, nothing's just easy.
Yeah.
It's not just a casual walk into the end zone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, but you're right, it's creativity. I mean, we line up in the same formations, run the same motion, but instead of throwing it to this guy, we're just going to throw it to this guy. Or instead of handing it off to this guy, I mean, it's like the same stuff over and over.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do like. I mean, and you notice, look, with Ole Miss early in the game, they get down there twice, and they line their running back up in the kind of the wildcat and snap it directly to him, and they're going downhill. They're not going side to side. They're going downhill. And they score 2 touchdowns off of that. And you don't ever see us do that. You don't ever see us snap it directly to Chase McClellan or Roydell Williams or bring in, you know, yeah, or Milrow. Yeah, I mean, I said it last week. I mean,
Biggest back we got.
and he's fast too. You know, so yeah, I don't know. Especially when we're struggling in that area, one would think that we would try something different. And we haven't. Again,
One would think.
Yeah.
you know, we settle for those. We settled for 2 field goals in those situations. I think we ended up scoring a touchdown, but we got a penalty that gave us another opportunity. And like Jimmy said, it's just so difficult. You know, we're having to struggle to score those touchdowns, and even then, go ahead, Mo.
No, I'm just saying it gets frustrating. Offense that we still have some great players. I think leading as Jimmy has said just to us play Sunday, that especially a defense, but because we're ranked high, I mean we scored more points than the opponent.
Yeah.
However, it's not hitting maximum.
Yeah, Mo.
Especially with number 1 recruiting.
Right. You know, Mo, right about the statistics. Because, I mean, we're still on both sides of the ball a top 20 offense, top 20 defense from overall standpoint and a scoring standpoint. I mean, so it doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, it's obviously those numbers are padded just based on some of the earlier competition we faced.
And I think that's the frustrating thing that you just hit on, Maurice. When you've got the top recruiting class year after year after year, you would expect a little bit different production. You would expect some more productivity from different guys and it not be as difficult. You know, I watch the creativity from Georgia and from Ole Miss and from Tennessee. You know, I watch the creativity from Oregon. You know, and just see some of the things that they do. And I'm thinking to myself, do we just not have a creative mind?
Yes.
Are we in the same mindset that we're Alabama and we're just gonna, you know, we're just gonna physically pound on you? We're not that anymore.
No identity.
Well, I think that ship sailed. You're thinking that is him two losses. You're eliminated from the SEC West. So, buddy of mine, we're talking driving over here. I don't know if anybody has any crap here anymore this year. Good.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. Hey, defensively, I think we did some things nicely. Several guys played really good football. If we don't give some props to Byron Young, man, Byron Young, in my opinion, was the leader on the defense on Saturdays for sure, and he's had some really good games. But Byron Young is the guy, in my opinion, that lately has stepped up, and I'm not going to say carried us, but I want to say carried us.
Well, statistically, that was the best game we've seen out of one defender all year.
Yeah, 11 tackles, 2 pass breakups.
Fumble. I mean, he statistically he had the best game of anybody we've had all year.
And listen, I get it. You know, Will Anderson's, you know, being double teamed often. And listen, he never gets a call. Jimmy, we saw from the very first play of the game, he beats the guy off the edge when they throw the pass, and the guy just yanks him. You know, and there's no holding call called. You know, and I know that's frustrating for him, because he's a step or two away from getting to the quarterback, and this happened. So I get that's frustrating, but that's part of being the guy. That's part of being the probably the number one player from a defensive perspective in college football. I mean, that's what you get. Do you disagree with that, Maurice?
No, it comes with character. I get it. There's, you know, speed outside linebacker, discipline. Again, that it's going to, it has could have done it again the other night outside of the station. One that wasn't. Dallas I don't use the word stupid a lot. That's really stupid. That he should have been addressed. Come up to the sideline and have a coach get 0.
Yeah, because if they made that call, that turns the ball game around. It changes the dynamic of the ball game. We did what we needed to do. We got that stop, but that would have changed the ball game completely. And we're just very lucky that they didn't see it and didn't call it. But it goes back to what you've been saying, kind of what we've all been saying, and that's discipline, selfish, or either so much frustration that you let it out in a time where you don't need to let it out. Regardless, we got to have better discipline than that.
Great.
So,
and if it doesn't, back.
Yeah,
not just this year,
and it has. Listen, it has. Listen, the projection is that he's going to be, Dallas Turner's going to be starting off the edge next year. You know, there's still some questions on who that's going to be out there beside him. Maybe it's, you know, Braswell. Maybe he stays another year. Who knows? But a lot of those things are going to come over the next few weeks. I was reading the article about, you know, who's going to opt out, who's going to not play in a bowl, and that sort of thing. So there's some things to discuss. Maurice, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and have the third segment, talk about some of the things we just mentioned, but also talk about Austin Peay. I know Saban's trying to make this into, they're the really good FCS team, but hold your seats, Tide fans. We'll be right back with Tide Talk.
Beam is delivering gig speed internet to 100% of our network. But should you get a gig? Well, if you want to download an album in a blink, video conference in 4K, make virtual reality more real, power all of your home smart devices at the same time, and still have bandwidth to stream everything without buffering, then yeah, you gotta get a gig. So call, click, or visit and get it. Because when you got to get a gig, you got to go with Beam. Bringing East Alabama more.
I know Beam. I used to watch cartoons and sports on their TV, and now I use their internet.
Take it from Javion Cohen, all SEC team offensive lineman.
Beam. It's the choice of champions.
Like Javion said, it is the internet choice of champions. Beam, bringing East Alabama more.
All right, welcome back, Tide fans. Segment 3. Jimmy, you probably read some of that today about the next few weeks, who's going to enter the portal, who's going to opt out of the bowl game. Will Anderson, is he going to play because he's potentially the #1 draft pick? Bryce Young, is he going to play? That sort of thing. I mean, so many things left to be seen. What are your initial thoughts on how the next few weeks kind of plays out?
We're in a kind of a unique situation here because typically to this point we're still playing to get in that Final Four and play for that SEC championship. So you're right. It's going to be very interesting to see over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We've kind of prided ourselves on guys not opting out, not sitting out, even when we wasn't playing. There was was it 17 or 19 that we didn't play for a title, and nobody sat out in the bowl game. We've kind of built that program. I'll be interesting to see. I would not be surprised one bit though if we do have some of those guys opting out this year.
Maurice, what's your take on these guys?
Get off. I'm tired of the player before the team. You don't have the University of Alabama one goal as your goal to win a national championship. It's been nice knowing you. Go to Texas, go to where you want to go. Transfer works both ways. However, transfer portal raised the question how we're evaluating talent. We have to rely on somebody here coming in, then we're missing our value.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but I think that's probably Coach Saban's, I won't say mistake, but something that he's challenged with changed so much in the past few years. You find not needing so much because it's so readily available to get on the portal. See ya.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, I don't think we missed last year. I mean, obviously, Jamison Williams was, a diamond in, not even a diamond in the rough. The Joker was a stud. I mean, he came to play for us and ended up being a stud.
He was the number 3 recruiter at Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's why he left. He wasn't that much playing. He comes here, and of course, we used him for his speed. And ends up being a first-round draft.
Right. And I think he increased his value by coming to us and the way we used him and his performance. I mean, I think he increased his value, his stock, without a doubt. I agree, Maurice. I think that, I don't know, there's enough debate with respect to the transfer portal, and has it helped us? Has it hurt us? Are people coming to play for the University of Alabama, or are they coming, and this is even for recruits, especially now with the NIL, are they coming because they just want to get to the next level and they know Nick Saban's the person that can get them there? I do question, is the University of Alabama their priority, or is it just a stepping stone to get to the next level? I think that makes a difference in how people perform.
Agreed. There's no other, don't get me wrong, I get it. The fact that there's no other job that started out of college. So maybe make what you're doing on this level. Any job. NFL rookie first round draft pick. Yeah, that's guaranteed $10 to $15 million. Top pick. I get it. But it's just like don't worry about just play, perfect what you're doing. The same holds true with your value player. Just do what you're supposed to do that's going to make you better. That's going to make the team better. Instead of, well, I need to value myself. I'm really sick of hearing that.
Yeah, it is tough. Jimmy, you got a take on that?
I mean, everything you said is true. But unfortunately, I think that's the world we live in now. It's here to stay. It's not going to change. I mean, we're going to constantly see guys come and go, and I guarantee you, Sean, based on what you said or talking about what you said, I know guys are coming to university just for that. They're not coming because it's the University of Alabama. They're coming because they're looking at a chance to go play in the NFL. So but again, that's what we built. That's what we created. So again, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see, you've heard some of the former players talk about, the standard that we've built, the program that we've built. I read something that Bo Scarborough said, which kind of just echoes some of the things that McElroy has stated and some of these other guys, have talked about, some of these former players. I'd like to see us get back to, they talk about the fourth quarter program. It was the most grueling, summer workouts, the most grueling. You don't hear much about that anymore. You don't hear guys talking about how challenging or difficult it was. I know a few years ago, man, it was a big deal. I mean, they were talking about, man, if you can make it through this, you can pretty much do anything. And we looked forward to the fourth quarter because we knew that we were physically better, that we would dominate the fourth quarter. And we don't play like that. We don't have that confidence anymore. We don't look forward to the fourth quarter being there. And I'd like to see us get back to that.
I think we all, I think, based on that, we'll know. It may not be published. Should be some changes take place after the tournament.
So you got Austin Peay coming in. Saban's trying to keep his team focused. Really good FCS team, put up a lot of points, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully it'll give us an opportunity to get some younger guys and some evaluation done. I'd love to see Simpson play a little bit. I'd love to see if Milrose progressed any from a passing perspective and not just come in and hand the ball off and throw it on third down when we know and everybody in the stadium knows we're going to throw it on third down. I'd like to see, because listen, at the end of the day, we're going to be looking for a quarterback next year. And so be interesting to see if these guys get some playing time and, we start seeing some of these younger guys, get out and perform. Supposed to be an opportunity this coming Saturday, Austin Peay at home. We're supposed to win big. I'll be honest, I don't have the confidence at this point that we're going to win big. I just don't. I don't care who's playing. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope that we're not looking for the following game, Auburn week coming up. Fortunately for us, we're playing at home against Auburn because I would not want to go there and play, just to be real. But regardless, 2 games left, the big one at the end. Maurice, if you had to just take a gander, what is your thoughts this Saturday, Austin Peay coming in? What's your score prediction?
45 to 10, something like that. They are 7-3. Not challenging some of the other which I like be challenged, and I think it'll be interesting. It won't be like 63. It'll be a little bit more.
Does Bryce Young play into the second half?
No. I think he plays what's needed to take him out just in case there's any lingering shoulder issues. And like I said, let Milroe play.
I don't know anything about Austin Peay other than their FCS team, but if we can't beat them, 50-3 or 50-7, we have bigger problems than I think we already have. So I'm thinking we're going to beat them just that 53 or 55-3.
Yeah, I used to have that confidence, 63-7, 63-3, something like that. I used to have that confidence. I don't have it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope some of these guys get to play early and get to play with some significant time. Like I said, not just mop-up duty, hand the ball off on offense, that sort of thing, because we're going to need it. I'm going to predict 49-13, something like that. At the end of the day, I think we'll win the football game without question, but hopefully we will not be nervous like we were this past Saturday down to the last minute. Maurice, thank you for joining us from Dreamland. Hope you enjoy your time there. We'll do it again, Tide fans, right here next week on Channel 207, and hopefully we'll be discussing a big win against Austin Peay. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.